Sid, I'll start with you. Aside from Aguirre's press conference antics, what else do you make of this incredible Mallorca run to the Copa del Rey final?
Well, it's completely unexpected. As you say, this is a final with two clubs for whom it's absolutely historic. Mallorca have only won the Copa del Rey once. That was 21 years ago. Athletic haven't won a major trophy in 40 years. They've won two Super Cups, but not a major trophy since 1984. I think when you look at Mallorca's run, the thing that is most striking is that this isn't the run of a team that got an easy draw. It's true, and this is always the case of the First Division teams, that they played teams from a lower tier for the first couple of rounds. But then they faced Girona when Girona were top of the table. Girona had come from putting 5 past Sevilla, and they went 3-0 up before half-time. They then got through against Real Sociedad. Now, Aguirre himself admitted they've been a little bit fortunate, but if there's an image of this Copa del Rey run for Mallorca, it's that moment before the penalty shootout in the semi-final against Real Sociedad, when the players are in a huddle and they start cheering each other and celebrating and jumping around and joking and laughing at what should have been the most tense moment of the entire cup run, at what should have been a moment when everyone is terrified. They're there laughing. And of course, what that does is it has a double impact. It shows you how relaxed they are. It shows you that they feel that they've already won, that there's no pressure on them. But also, of course, the Real Sociedad players looking at them think, oh my goodness, this lot think they're already through. And they were.
Final Saturday at La Cartuja. Robbo, you're going to be calling it. What do you make of this Mallorca side?
I think they're very good defensively, or have been in recent weeks. We saw them against Barcelona. It was only a Yamal goal that later on in the game that rescued Barcelona to get the win. But the shape that they play a 5-3-2. I think that's how you can describe it. It's not really a 3-5-2. And that's going to allow, I think, Athletic Club a lot of possession in the game. The fullbacks for Athletic Club should have lots of the ball. As I said, they're good, solid defensive players. They've got a good understanding at the two centre-halves, or the three centre-halves. Capete has done well on the left-hand side of that. They've got wing-backs that are going to play deep. But they rely very much on Larin, if he is going to play, and Murici. And they're two totally different strikers. Murici's good with his back to goal and good in the air. And Larin, we know, can make forward runs. But they've got to get enough of the ball to them, and they've got to play close together to cause Athletic Club problems. I'm not sure they're going to do that.
Sid, I know you're a romantic. Anybody that follows you on social media sees all your tweets about Oviedo, so I know you can appreciate this final, but what is the rest of Spain saying about a final that doesn't include Barcelona, doesn't include Real Madrid, doesn't include Atletico Madrid?
Yeah, I'm torn between giving you the slightly more positive answer and the slightly more negative answer. Now, on the one hand, there's absolutely no doubt that a Copa del Rey final has a level of excitement anyway, that this is seen as, if you like, the big day of the season. And there's, I think, a very genuine sense of warmth towards both what Mallorca have done and what Athletic Club have done, and the sense that this is really, really important for both these clubs, a genuinely historic moment. But it is true, and I think the way you frame the question is right, it is true that in Spain, a game that doesn't include Madrid or Barcelona or Atletico, or maybe even a Sevilla or a Betis or someone like that, maybe lacks something, or at least doesn't get talked about, doesn't get the attention that perhaps it deserves. So there's no doubt that tomorrow this will feel huge. And for anyone who goes anywhere near Seville, particularly in terms of the numbers of fans travelling from Bilbao, it will feel like an absolutely monumental occasion. But it is true that the thrust, for example, of the media coverage, the thrust of what fans are talking about, is taken away from it a little bit by the fact that it's not Madrid or Barcelona. And of course, by the fact that Madrid and Barcelona play in the Champions League next week. So there's already a degree of some people kind of looking beyond the cup final rather than looking at Sevilla on Saturday night.
How much pressure is Ernesto Valverde's side under?
A huge amount. Absolutely a huge amount. As you say, Athletic have a fantastic cup history. It's very much the kind of the identity of the club. Now, this is a club that, because of its policy of only playing with Basque players, they know they're not candidates to win the La Liga title, and the Copa del Rey is their one opportunity for success. You look back at that run since 1984, they've actually been in 5 finals. They haven't won any of them, although it's different this time, and I think this increases the pressure. If you look at those previous finals, you've got Barcelona, you've got Real Sociedad in there. They played, of course, Atletico Madrid in the final of the Europa League. They didn't win any of those. And I think what that does, of course, is it puts them in a position where you say, OK, that's understandable. They're now against Mallorca, and you're absolutely right, they are definitely favourites. I think the pressure is huge. And for what it's worth, I think very, very explicitly, Mallorca will play on that. Mallorca will play to try and deny Athletic the chance to create chances, to try and deny them the opportunity to run at them, and not necessarily go looking, or at least not very insistently looking for the goal, and knowing that as time passes, it's Athletic that are more likely to feel the tension of that. I think this is a huge occasion for Athletic. I genuinely don't think you can overstate it. I think tomorrow, when we see the number of people from Bilbao in the city, in fact, already tonight, it's absolutely crazy there. I think we'll get a sense of the enormity of this for them, because Atletic's a genuinely big club, even if it's not a Madrid or a Barcelona. It's not far off in terms of its kind of sense of importance for the city, in terms of the sense of its fan base, and I think the pressure is huge. That said, it's a very good team. It's a team with a very sensible manager who's very good at taking the pressure off them, and they will do everything they can to try and treat this as a normal game, even though they know it absolutely isn't.
Okay, Sid, before we let you go, let's get some predictions on the record. You're going with Mallorca to win in penalties. Why?
Because I think they will make it tough for Athletic. And Robert was talking about the importance of the Williams brothers, how good they are when they're running into space. I think that those wing-backs that you can sometimes get behind, I think won't be wing-backs. I think they'll be full-backs. I think Robert was absolutely right. It'll be 5 at the back. They'll make it very, very hard for Athletic to find a way through. I think they will be defensive. And I think that's what their game will be based on. And so I can see a similar scenario to the semi-final against Real Sociedad, the second leg, where really and truly Real Sociedad made more happen, had much more of the ball, but Mallorca found a way through. So I can see a scenario in which, it finishes 1-1 and Mallorca win it on penalties.